Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand, or should I say good evening to you guys. And also, we've had a Christmas miracle. Yeah. We've won a game at Old Trafford against Aston Villa, who were doing brilliantly this season, and we did it in style, a 3-2 victory for Manchester United. It felt like classic Manchester United football. For once, it's what we've been waiting for. Of course, it's not perfect, but Man United did really well to come back and win that game. And I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely buzzing. It's Christmas time. I did not think we were going to win that game. And when we went down 2-0 in the first half, I thought, oh no, it could be another one where I'm sat at Old Trafford thinking, what am I doing here? But we came back.
You were thinking that at 45th minute.
Well, I put a tweet out saying, you know, half time. It is only half time, guys. Like, there is a second half, but I can understand why people are worried. But anyway, let's get into it. Faz, Mordzs, Ricky, you guys at home, get in the chat. I mean, how were you feeling when that third goal went in, guys?
Unbelievable.
Nottingham Forest.
Absolutely.
I almost ended up on. I'm in the middle stand. I almost ended up on the first stand, front row. Genuinely, I was like in the crowd with everyone. It was unreal. It was like one of the moments where I felt like it was never coming. Do you know when I said it buy-in? When I felt like I just knew there wasn't going to be a goal. But today you could just feel something, and you actually felt the magic again.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to get carried away.
Players had some good Christmas dinner yesterday. I think that's what the difference is. But no, look, whenever we're losing at home, it's a very bad feeling, especially obviously at home, going into a deficit at half time, a bad 2-0 deficit as well against a team that are absolutely flying. Yeah. So the first goal, which was ruled offside, what was it, 2 minutes into the second half, it almost felt like, right, okay, because absolutely all season what we've done is come out second half sleeping. So it was nice that we got an early goal that was ruled offside. We look like we're going to create more chances, and the players look like they're up for it. As much as people will credit the players and the manager, I'll be deadly honest, it was down to the fans today. They really pushed. I don't know. You saw you heard everybody booing, right? And then when the players came back, they made themselves known. I was obviously in Stretford end, and even when the players came back out, they were still behind the players, and you could tell that the players needed that. It's nice that, look, we got 3 goals, and most importantly, it was from the attackers, so they can score. They are finishing. People were going in on Garnacho that he missed a chance against West Ham. I myself saying, he missed a chance against West Ham, missed a chance against Liverpool, but today he scored a brace. But you can get easily carried away.
Both his goals today while he was playing on the right.
Yeah,
we're going to get into it.
You can get a bit carried away with these sorts of results, but it's nice. We'll take it. I hope it's a turning point.
Mordzs, what I think a good thing is as well today is I felt like we could have scored more. Like, we were still missing chances first half, wrong decision. I mean, that Eriksen one, where we passed it to Rashford, it was a horrible pass, but I was just like, shoot. And then Garnacho, when he could have crossed it to Hojlund and he shoots. And it's like, and obviously, Faz says about Garnacho's shot last week, he should have scored that. And Erik ten Hag said himself after the game, like, they have to do it every week. That's what you've got to do if you're playing at Man United.
Yeah, I mean, this was like a typical Ollie game. Back in Ollie's days where we go down and it's like, we're probably going to come back though. I feel like everyone had that spirit with the old United, it was like 3 years ago, but that team where we usually go down early and then we'll come out second half and everyone's like fired up and ready and then we'll somehow just come back. And that was literally what happened today. But I mean, I was just waiting for Faz to give credit to Ten Hag today. I mean, when we lose, it's Ten Hag. But then today, when the game plan was perfect, let's be honest, the game plan worked perfectly. We knew about the high line. We knew getting in behind, we were going to need players like Rashford. We're going to need players like Garnacho to run in behind and get behind their defence. And Rashford played great today. Garnacho played great today. So as good as the attacking players did play, I'm definitely going to give credit to them in a second. But Ten Hag played a perfect game and tactically it worked out.
Any response from you?
One game isn't enough. We've lost 50% of our games.
No, it's understandable.
I'm not saying Ten Hag the whole season's been amazing, but you give credit where credit's due.
I'm understandable towards why people want to give credit to the manager after they brought the result back. I get it.
He absolutely deserves credit. He absolutely deserves credit today.
Good for him, but he also doesn't deserve credit because his goalkeeper cost us the first goal.
He's not playing in net.
Well, why do you say that when...
He's not playing in net himself, is he?
His goalkeeper was the first goal, but...
He bought a goalkeeper that's got two great feet and absolute T-Rex.
His striker got us a winning goal then, so about that? Huh? His striker got us a winning goal, so about that as well?
Ooh. Good for him. He needs a goal after how many games not scoring. After how many games of not scoring? One game, 145 minutes. 145 minutes is not enough.
Definitely wasn't 45 minutes. We played well for the whole game.
First half. Onana had a howler.
And the scoreline was 2-0.
Onana had a howler, and we
2-0.
switched off on the back post.
And the scoreline was 2-0.
They had 2 chances and scored both.
The scoreline was 2-0 in that first half.
100%, but we played well. You've got to look at the bigger picture.
Doesn't matter. I need a run of games, a proper run of games before I start getting any form of happiness. Because we know how Manchester United are. All season we've seen this. 1 result, 3 results bad.
Look,
1
guys,
result, 2 results bad.
There's a bottle of Prosecco in the fridge. Someone pop it open for Faz. He needs a little bit of something to take the edge off.
I don't need that. You guys need vaccinating because all you've been doing all season.
I need vaccinating
Yeah,
now.
because all you've been doing all season is going up and down, up and down. And when the manager's throwing shit show up, you just keep your mouth shut.
No,
and now that 45,
so many
no,
times.
but 45 minutes of performance does not mean I'm going to be up in here doing star jumps.
No, I'm not
no
saying that. I'm
asking
saying
for that,
a bit of credit.
Credit for what?
Say-
It's
okay.
Alejandro Garnacho who deserves any more credit.
Oh, come on. You can't say when we lose a game it's Ten Hag, but then when we win a game it's all
Because
the
look
players.
at the way we
it's all on the players.
Okay, but look at the way we lose games compared to look at the way we win games, which we don't win often anyways.
Okay, but today we're talking about Aston Villa though.
Today,
Right.
we
So,
played
and-
the offside
yeah.
trap brilliantly. Okay, a few times we got caught out, but we played the offside trap brilliantly. Aston Villa, they've been brilliant. They beat City, they're near top of the league.
They beat Arsenal as well.
They've been unbelievable this season, and I can't remember them having a chance apart from the 2 goals they scored. Like, that's great from us, considering the position we're in.
Good for Manchester United, good for Erik ten Hag. He's got 1 game a week now. Go and do that for the rest of the season and prove me wrong that you are the manager for Manchester United.
No, I agree. We don't want to paper over cracks, of course we don't. But I think we need to give credit for one performance. But Ricky, we'll get you involved. How did you feel about the overall performance from Man United today? I mean, obviously the 2 goals it was hurting going in at half time. But the overall performance, how do you feel?
Overall performance, I said last week I didn't think we played too badly. Last week we were 2-0 down at half-time today. But got a lot of people that had a go at me saying, we never opened them up, we didn't create loads of chances. But I just want us to be solid and not a team that just falls apart like bloody putty in your hand or something, do you know what I mean? And I think at Liverpool we were like that. I think at West Ham we were like that for 70 minutes and we should have nicked it, not them. We should have nicked it. And then today, first half, 2-0 down at half-time. And I'll be dead honest, I didn't think we were going to come back. But 2-0 down at half-time, again, it was just, I know it sounds a bit daft that, it was just the 2 goals. It wasn't like they were running us ragged and pulling us from pillar to post. No. It was a pretty even game. And obviously the first goal was a bit of a weird goal, wasn't it? Everybody missed it. You get one of them from time to time. And the second, we were at fault with the second goal. We left somebody unmarked at the far post who headed it back in. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid performance from start to finish. And I think it has been, well, not from start to finish at West Ham. We fell apart after they scored. But for the last 3 games now, I think we've been more solid, and I'm hoping that we're going to turn a corner.
Literally, apart from them two obviously resulted in goals, and that's how it feels like. It feels like whenever there's a chance, there's a goal at this point in time. Obviously, the first one, Onana gets freaked out by the player that's on him. They put a cross in, no one gets it away, and he should have saved it anyway. He doesn't. He should have claimed it. He doesn't. It's a goal. Second one, like you said, we switched off. Apart from that, there was nothing. And this is a Villa side that, let's think about it. This Villa side, they beat Chelsea. That's not that great of a start, to be honest, at the moment. They beat Chelsea, they beat City, they beat Arsenal, they beat Tottenham. This is all recently as well. So it's like, they're doing well.
Yeah.
So for us to come back from 2-0 down, I know we're at home and the crowd were brilliant in the second half, like you said, but it is an achievement. But let's talk about that, because I think congratulations are in order. We've got to get behind our players. Rasmus Hojlund, his first Premier League goal, a long time coming. Should have been his second, because I think the one at Brighton should have counted, but his first Premier League goal. Yeah. Off a set piece as well. I couldn't believe it. I was like, a set piece and a Hojlund goal. What's going on today? It really is a Christmas miracle. But I just want to say I'm so happy for him, and you could see in his face and his reaction afterwards how much it means to him. He said on his interview afterwards, it's the happiest day of his life. I mean, you want players like that playing for you, and obviously it's not gone right for him all the time, but he's kept going. And how happy are we for him? And we're happy with his performance, everyone, today.
I'm very happy with the finish. It's a proper striker's finish. Just no hesitation, no taking a touch and waiting, just straight away. He's left-footed anyway, so it just felt perfectly. Obviously, I think it came off McGinn, bounced off his thigh. Not really any criticism, but it's just, I still see his runs into the box is like, there was a perfect ball that Garnacho put in, and he's just, a little bit off, and he should be a bit more forward. And today specifically, I'm watching how he's running past the defender, and you're supposed to, top class strikers, what you see is they'll fake a run this way and then they'll go inwards or outwards, whichever direction they pick. And it's very natural to them. Only thing is he's young. He's got to learn that over the course of the years. He's obviously not played first team football at high level for many years, so I understand that. But that finish was top class, and it's a bit of luck involved because he bounced off the other player's thigh, but we'll take that. And very, very happy with him.
You've got to feed off scraps when you're Man United.
Yeah.
He's Man United striker, and that was a scrap of something, and he made it into a good goal with a great finish.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was going to say even before this game was talking about like strikers' instinct, innit? And I feel like that was one thing that I felt like Hojlund didn't have. Even though he's a good finisher and he's quick and he's strong, he didn't have that striker's instinct. And a lot of times where you'd see, for example, Garnacho or Anthony, they'll run on the line. And one thing about Garnacho as well is that he runs on the line, he puts his head down and he just kicks it in the box. He doesn't necessarily pick up plays a lot, like, for example, Rashford usually does. Rashford will look up when he's down the line and he try and find the pass. And if he can't find the pass, he'll cut it back and then try and find the pass. But with Garnacho, he runs on the line and he just like tries to put his foot through it and just hope that someone gets the ball. And as a striker, you've got to understand your players and know that if a player like Garnacho is going to go down the line, I need to be, for example, at the front post, because that's usually where the ball's going to end up going. And I didn't think Hojlund had that striker's instinct to be able to be in the right place at the right time, which is, funnily enough, something that McTominay has. He's always in the right place at the right time, and the ball just usually just finds him somehow. But I think that today, something just clicked in him, and he was in the right place at certain moments. And for that goal, literally, ball just bounced him perfectly, and he didn't need to take a touch, like you said, straight first time, left foot, and it's gone off the post, and it's a great finish. So I feel that's something that he needs to still work on it, but when that thing does click and he does get those chances in the game, he'll get a lot more goals.
You are right, because the one thing that I did pick up on, and I loved, how physical he was, and he kept running the channels, and I thought his link-up play was actually a bit better today, but the one thing I did pick up on was when the Garnacho had that cross and he was running front post instead of back post, and they're things he will pick up on over time, but just so happy he has his goal. We've got a super chat in here from Von. We will read all the super chats out in a second, but I wanted to specifically talk about this one. Von says, Ricky, better without Scott McTominay?
No. No, not at all. Not at all.
He did well when he came
I think
on.
we've been solid. I think we've been solid for 3 games, and I think we've been all right. Really do.
Well, statistically, Rick, the third goal came because McTominay was on the pitch.
Well, it was 2-0 when it came on. We won, didn't we? So.
Let's change the narrative then. Were you happy with the Mainoo Ericsson partnership?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I thought that worked well, yeah.
I was surprised.
I was surprised.
Ericsson was a bit further forward.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I thought
he was
that.
pressing well, to be fair.
Yeah, I
didn't think he had that pressing in him.
I still think though that Mainoo by himself is a little bit shaky. I think there's still times where like the ball will come in from like Onana or like one of the centre backs, and he'll have to like have a last minute touch just to try and get it out, just because there's no one there next to him for him to pass it to. He's having to go forward or turn around and go back. So I think still playing with those 2 10s is a bit shaky for Mainoo, just because he's still young and he's still got a lot to learn and experience. But I feel like that combination did work very well. I think it meant that Bruno didn't have as much pressure going forward as well. There's another player on the pitch that could make a pass. I remember Eric, what goal was it? One of the goals where Ericsson, or one of the chances where Ericsson's just first time just outside the boot and he just smacked it over the top. And usually that would have to be Bruno to make that pass because there were no other midfielders on the pitch to make that pass. But having that extra player means that Bruno doesn't have to always be the one to try and make that assist. So
I think we could have easily created way more chances today, and I tell you why. I've noticed since in the first half and in the second half, I think I counted about 6 times Rashford just dart and run. And I think few of them times Johnny Evans has got the ball and he's expecting the pass. And one of the particular occasion, he's absolutely gone in on Johnny Evans. I don't know if you guys noticed this on the pitch. He went in and it's possibly because Villa obviously plays such a high line, one. Number 2 is that's Rashford DNA. And that's what I was on about, earlier on in the season when I said, play to his strengths. He's not going to track back and he's not going to tackle. One scenario today, we saw ball is in the middle of the park. Rashford's got about 3 seconds to watch the ball jump and he's not looking at the ball. He's just, finally saw the ball and doesn't jump where he could have used his height a bit. He's not that sort of player where he's going to put a shift in terms of defending. But when it comes to them in behind runs, he's just cooking his fullback again and again and again. And I think if we timed a couple passes right, we would have definitely created a couple more chances. And that's traditional Manchester United, not traditional, but typical Rashford, Bruno, Manchester United counter-attacking football. And if we did that, we would have won a lot more games this season.
I'm absolutely with you on the fact that Rashford should have got the ball more. He made some brilliant runs. I saw this narrative and I wanted to speak on it. People might disagree with me and probably they will, but that's football at the end of the day. But I wanted to speak on it. Someone was like, Rashford's body language is so bad when he's not receiving the passes. And I thought, if I was making that good of a run every time and I was open and they weren't getting their heads up to just pass it to me and I told them over and over again, I would also be angry. And you know what? I was happy to see a bit of passion in Rashford. He looked like he wanted to be there. It looks like he wanted to win. He was up for it. He was into it. He was aggressive. And a lot of the times recently, he just seemed like, you know, head down and looked a bit like he didn't want to be there. But
I don't agree. I don't think he...
Today, I thought he was on it. I thought it's his best performance he's played all season, got to be honest.
That's true.
And that's not hard because he's been
That's
poor.
true, but look,
when he's
losing the ball is not even gone past the final third of the opposition. He's not like going and smashing into the player. Every other winger's doing that, except for him and Sancho. Every other winger is going in and trying to win the ball, going in.
With that Martinez one, he really tried to get him sent off, and you know he could have easily just jumped out the way, but he stood up and he took it. He took the hit. Today, I thought like the one thing I would say is, I can't. Okay, yeah, maybe he overplayed it a few times in the second half, like you said, but apart from that, I can't really fault his performance. He tracked back, he got stuck in, he was showing like some passion, and he was actually crossing it as well. The first Garnacho goal, where it was offside by a tiny bit, great pass. And then sometimes you'd think with Rashford, the next time he's going to try and shoot, but he passes it again, and that's what you want to see from him. The
best pass he made today was, I think, just around the halfway line, where he sliced the ball. And the ball's gone like in a curve all the way to the top and landed right in front of the opposition box to Rasmus. I don't know if you noticed that pass. He's done that another time this season where Rasmus was through on goal. It's just the ball is coming to me. It doesn't take a first time. First time. Sensational pass, and if he can continue to do moments like that in a game, it'll be really good. And I think it's just Rasmus growing into his role really.
Someone here said he pulled out. I'm watching it in the stands, so I've not seen the replays. It just looks like he was.
I was sat in front of obviously where it happened, and it did look like he pulled out. Yeah.
Well, from where I stood,
the challenge with the goalkeeper that we're talking about.
Yeah, because he had ample amount of time to poke it above the goalkeeper. Easily, Rashford's way faster than that. He could have just poked it up, but I think he was trying to get Emi Martinez sent off. So
I've not seen the replay because I was in the stands, guys. So if you pulled out, you pulled out. But it's, for me, I was happy with what I saw from the stands. But Ricky, you're obviously a massive critic of Rashford. How did you feel about the general front three? Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right, and the performances in general of the front three.
Obviously better in the second half. I've just said we were solid throughout and difficult to beat, difficult to play through. But we weren't, again, it's not exciting enough to foot. It was in the second half, but it's not exciting enough, is it? We're not getting in behind and getting balls across enough, which we did in the second half. So overall, I'd just say pretty decent, because it was really good second half, but really poor first half. So, yeah.
Mods, Rashford's game and Garnacho on the right as well?
Yeah, I was going to say after what Faz was talking about, I think Rashford's gone through like a bit of a mentality shift in what he's used to, because last season he's not passing any of these. He's going and he's shooting because he was scoring. And that's what a lot of goal scorers do. If you're on form, you're on fire, your first mentality when you're in front of the goal is I'm shooting because I'm scoring goal, but I'm going to try and pass it up for someone who might not score. But he's obviously had that. Maybe he's had a talk with the manager. Maybe he's just realised to himself that I'm not actually in form right now. It is a better option for me to pass it to a player who is more in form. So I think that I've clearly seen that anyway from today, that he's had a bit of a mentality shift. And I think once he starts doing this a bit more, getting like a bit more assists and playing a bit better, then we'll slowly start seeing him maybe take more shots. And then when he starts getting a few more goals, we'll see hopefully a better player.
Yes, hopefully it's the start of him getting back on track. Michael Mezher says, Faz's argument seems flawed. He was all for Eric Ten Hag before, now silent on Glazers, only criticise the manager.
Because the Glazers are paying me every month.
WM says...
No, I'm sorry, but I must address it. People think I can scream and shout about Glazers out and get them out. Like, we're not the biggest Manchester United channel or one of the biggest football platforms, and we try our best. They've just sold 25% of the club, and you want us to scream and shout. Frankly, I'm tired. I'm tired of Glazers out because they're not going anywhere.
I can understand it. We all want the Glazers to go.
1 minute empty Old Trafford, 1 minute empty the shop, 1 minute empty this, 1 minute say this. What do you want me to do?
WM says, away from home, Villa are a bank average side, so they were without Kamara and Torres, and they were appalling. I don't care, we won. They're not as good away from home. Villa Park's a fortress right now, but we beat them. and Emery couldn't believe it on the sidelines. He was all this and all that, and I thought, stick it. Julian says, no, I'm not reading that one out, because it's not fair on Ricky. He says if Ricky was manager, he would get relegated, and I don't believe that. We'd at least be mid-table. Jack D says, the midfield was so much more balanced with Eriksen and Mainoo rather than with McTominay. Again, I think it's a lot about the person, but the fact that the structure of it. But yeah, I was really happy with them. And Melvin said it was my birthday today, best birthday gift ever, happy birthday. Temple City says, does anyone notice that Rasmus does not run fast at the goal anymore? Jabbo Don says, thank you for your super chat. Michael, thank you. WM also says, Villa are trash. United are not good at all. Villa are just appalling all game. They are a shadow of who they usually are without Kamara and Torres. I think we've got to give ourselves a bit of credit. LJ says, give credit when it's due. It's only the beginning of the youngsters. Now we have to just achieve consistency. However, I know it takes time. Mario Franco says, Evans has been our most consistent summer signing. Jack D says, the results feel like the Man United of old. Brilliant way to end Boxing Day, up the Reds. International says, Mark stays targeting the goalkeeper, bad set piece defending. Hopi says, massive win, Erik ten Hag in. Kia says, to get these players to perform like they did in the second half is a Christmas miracle. Who would Faz pick to replace Erik ten Hag? That's what I'm trying to say. And Kenshin says, McTominay's best game ever. His position was perfect for 80 minutes. And Marshall Motions, welcome to United Stand Members Club. And Lee says, I'm glad we won, but I'm not ecstatic. Give me a run and then I will be. We have to drop Onana. Many goalkeepers from my continent, Spider-Man at moments. Son says, the one time Beth and Faz predict a loss, we win. Can you guys keep predicting losses? Still love you, Beth. Thank you. And Dan Edit says, United need
Wait. He says, still love you, Beth.
8.
What about me?
He clearly doesn't.
That's not fair.
Phil Thomas says, great performance tonight, would have been better if not for Onana. And thank you everyone for your super chats, got through them all there. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about Johnny Evans as well, actually, Ricky, because,
Was he the one that made the block?
Yeah, he made a great block at one point. I can't remember which one it was, but I think he should have passed to Rashford way more in certain areas he wanted it. But overall, brilliant defending again from Johnny.
Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. His composure on the ball. They don't have to lead to goals. It gets your team playing well and it builds confidence. You know, without him playing like he played, we would not have scored 3 goals. He actually gives composure to the team, and then the ball goes into the midfield and the midfield's more composed. It's just absolutely
But what
class.
about the goals we conceded?
So we conceded 2 goals. Look, that's football, isn't it? You know, you can't. I don't think anybody can affect the John McGinn goal, can we? The John McGinn goal was from a free kick that Bruno gave away stupidly. You know, there's only Bruno to blame for it. Nobody else, you know what I mean? It's true. It's true. Did you see him just kick somebody near the touchline for no apparent reason? And they scored from it. You can't
But Bruno has done that earlier this season. Remember what game was it where he gave away a poor free kick which led to a goal as well?
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, look.
Sorry.
Just look, you're going to concede some goals, aren't you? Sure. I've said to you time and time again on here, fed up of saying it, you will concede some goals. So different defenders or different players concede goals for different reasons. One player might not be as quick as another player. One player might not be as good in the air as another player. One player might not be as strong as another player. One player might not be as good on the ball as Johnny Evans. Maybe we just, look at the goal we give away in, was it in Switzerland? Where did we play? Not
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen, Denmark, where Varane kicks it up in the air and it went straight to one of theirs. You know what I mean? No composure on that moment. Johnny Evans' composure on the pitch, he's like a Rolls Royce, absolute Rolls Royce. I love watching him play. And there was one ball in the second half. I think we'd already taken the lead, or it might have been 2-2 at the time, that went through their inside left channel. So he's had to come across from the left-hand centre back. It's gone behind Varane, and he's chased it towards the dead ball line, beat the player to it, and he's only a couple of yards from the dead ball line, and it looks like he's going to take the ball towards the corner flag, and he passed it to Onana with his left foot when he's 2 yards from the dead ball line and under pressure. Just absolutely different class. And then Onana played it out to the left and we move up the field. Another defender maybe puts that into touch and maybe you concede from that. You just never know, do you know what I mean?
Sure. What you've got to learn is no one's perfect. There's always
Nobody's perfect. You're always going to concede some
mistakes.
goals. So there's no point saying, oh, we'll let a goal in. Johnny Evans was playing. We'll let a goal in anyway. Do you know what I mean?
But overall, honestly, Johnny Evans is really changing my mind on him. when he first signed, I was honestly, and I still think we should have gone for a proper up-and-coming centre-back that's in the prime. But Johnny Evans, he stepped in and he's done a brilliant job. And today, again, he was brilliant. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that, I mean, I don't want to bring it back, but I've just seen a comment that's made me want to bring it back to the Garnacho thing. A lot of people, were questioning maybe whether Garnacho would get dropped today for Rashford. He's had a bad few games, but I think that belief from Eric Ten Hag with the credit Garnacho has in the bank, it's paid off today.
Yeah.
And that's why you've got to give players a bit of time.
It seems like it, because obviously he's had two chances in the last 2 games and some fantastic chances as well. Any forward would love a chance like that. So, yeah, but credit to... The thing is, I don't know about the rest of us, but I predicted that Rashford's going to play on the right and Garnacho's going to play on the left because Rashford's a senior player, so he'll accommodate the right-hand side. But the manager went the other way around and it paid off so well that Rashford got an assist and Garnacho got a brace. So credit to the manager. There you go. Credit to the manager for that decision. and it worked out. Do more of that.
Yeah,
do more of that.
Again, that was a good decision by Eric Ten Hag. There's been quite a few bad ones this season, so it was good to see one turn out.
It takes a lot of composure for a 18, 19, I think, to turn a World Cup winning keeper. And Emi Martinez is known for his shithousery and, trying to get into the players' heads. Obviously, look at the tackle he made to Rashford. It's a lot of composure and a lot of pressure when you're losing a game 2-0 at home. Because if you remember, the first goal that he scored that was offside, he could have passed it to Hojlund. He doesn't know he's offside because he's still playing. He's going to put the ball in the back of the net. But he's, the mentality of him is I'm going to turn the keeper and I'm going to score. And that's the natural DNA in him. Instead of looking left and trying to pass it to Hojlund. And Hojlund screaming, pass it to me. Ball goes in the back of the net. Everybody celebrates, but it's ruled offside. So he's got that killer instinct in him.
Emi Martinez is absolutely top quality keeper. Absolutely top quality keeper.
He made some top saves.
We're using our net, to be honest.
He made some top saves.
We'll talk about that in a second. And people saying, obviously, we need a new centre-back. Johnny Evans is 37. Of course we do. I thought he was 35. Of course we need a new centre-back. Of course we do. He's filling in for the moment and he's doing a good job, so he deserves credit for that. But next up, I want to talk a little bit about Kobbie Mainoo. He's basically playing a single pivot on his own, 18 years old, which arguably probably isn't even his best position. He's more of a box-to-box. Well, he was in the academy anyway. And Ten Hag's trusting him with that role, and he's playing it on his own. It's some of the toughest oppositions in the Prem so far. Yeah. And he's doing it brilliantly. As I say, no one's perfect. But the passes he makes, his calmness on the ball. And what I'm really impressed with is the amount he wins the ball in the air, considering his height.
Yeah.
He's getting up there, he's getting physical with it.
He's just physical, isn't he?
He's strong. He doesn't look like an academy player that's been put into a Premier League side. Is the biggest credit I can say. He looks like he belongs, and he's been there for a while too. So, I mean, with him, do you think he has to stay in the team? Oh,
100%. I said it last week, whatever game it was last week, that I think he's our best midfielder. Genuinely, I think he's our best midfielder. Bruno obviously puts up the numbers, he's the captain and whatnot, but I think when it comes to what we genuinely need as a midfielder, what's the most valuable midfielder we have is Kobbie Mainoo. And a lot of people, I've said it before about how United in the past have tried to always go for that flashy player to try and make the difference, whereas sometimes you need to bring in the quieter player, the player that just makes the right pass. That's the kind of player who will make the biggest difference in the team. You look at someone like Carrick here. Carrick was never the most flashy player. No one really even knew about Carrick. A lot of people underrate Carrick, in fact, because he wasn't scoring loads of goals, he wasn't making the assists, he wasn't making crazy passes, but he was the first name on the team sheet. He was a player that Fergie thought, if we're going to win this game, we need Carrick to play because he's going to do the things that the other players...
He does the simple things
the simple things the best. You know what I mean? And that's literally what Kobbie Mainoo does. He does the simple things perfectly. And I spoke earlier about... Yeah, he was getting caught out a little bit today just by the pressure of Villa, but I think that's just something that you just learn as you play more and more. And to think that his 6 games in his whole life, the 6 games that he's played is what? Away at Goodison Park, away at St James's Park, away at Anfield, at home with Bayern,
away at
Galatasaray, and then at home to this Villa side. To think that that's all he's played in his whole life and he's playing like this, his mentality is top class, and he's definitely got the brightest future that I could say at United.
Yeah, I'm so excited for him. Like, everyone in the crowd today that I was stood with and sat with, are like, oh God. Even when we're 2-0 down, like, at least we've got Mainoo as a talent going forward. He really is just a shining light in that team. And so happy with him. I mean, Ricky, and you love him as well. It's hard to please you.
Absolutely love him, yeah. Absolutely love him. I agree with everything Mordzs just said. Absolutely every word. He's so classy on the ball. He picks the right option. He makes the game look easy. Love players who make the game look easy, and he makes it look easy.
Great anticipation as well.
He doesn't look like he's gonna rush the pass. Even so, when you saw in the first half, many a times you're seeing so many Villa players around, you know, in our half. Normally, what you see is a player like Amrabat. This is not to pick on him, but he's gonna just zip the pass first time. Mainoo almost calms the ball down. He's playing in slow motion, but he's not. Yeah. And that's a talent in itself to be able to do that and remain absolutely calm. His facial expressions, his scanning, everything is just like it's child's play for him.
And I saw that with Johnny Evans. Maybe he's picked that up from Johnny Evans a little bit, but sometimes you need players in a team that they're going to slow the game down. Even though we're playing a counter-attacking game, which is supposed to be a fast game, sometimes you need that player that's just going to get the ball, and instead of him just trying to find that long pass, he just gives it to the fullback, or he just gives it back to Onana and just slows the game down. Maybe we might have been under pressure a little bit from the opposition. He just gets the ball, everyone calm down, let me just control the play a little bit. And that's how you, really and truly, that's how you control football. You don't control football by making flashy passes. You control football by keeping the ball, getting everyone a touch on the ball, making everyone run around, and then you hit them with whatever the game plan is. So I think that's what he's perfect at.
Captain today, Bruno Fernandes. Captain's performance?
Top. That was really good. Oh, are you making a face?
How on earth can you not think?
You didn't think it was a good performance?
Oh, played quite well. Yeah, played quite well. So still a bit too erratic for me. Interesting. But yeah, he played a lot of good passes and he works his socks off. Always works.
What is a captain's performance?
For me, a captain's performance is
for talking.
Yeah, I know, but he deserved to talk back because it was a silly decision from the referee. But honestly, we were 2-0 down. I thought we could fold here. And he wasn't the only one, but he was picking players up. He was applauding players for making the right decisions. He ran his absolute socks off, as he always did, but he did it in a very good way that the press worked several times. We beat them out, and he was a key trigger for that. The goal that stood the first goal, he presses to win the ball, passes it back into Rashford. Some of the balls he put through over the top were brilliant. I just think he ran the game in the second half. And we needed a comeback, and he really contributed to that. And for me, it's a very good performance. But he's captain as well, so captain.
A captain performance is about leading by example. That's the best thing you can do on the pitch. Letting everyone know that if I'm looking at my captain, let's say we're losing 2-0. You want your captain to be running 100% because you want to look at him and think, you know what, if he's doing it and I'm not doing it, then he's going to come to me and be like, what's going on? Like, this is the energy that we need. And that's exactly what Bruno did. He led by example. He let the other players know, we're going to come back in this game. If you watch Bruno for the whole game, there's not one point where I thought, oh, Bruno's giving up. There's not one point where I thought that. Other players, maybe. And we've seen that loads of times this season. But Bruno never looks like he's giving up. He always looks like he wants to win the game. He believes United can win the game because we've done it a lot of times in the past. So I think that's the captain's performance that I thought he had.
I just thought some of his passing was unbelievable today, and that helped us massively. But a lot of people saying don't forget Eriksen. We did just speak on Eriksen, but it is great to have him back. Would you start Eriksen again next game, guys?
I would. Yeah. 5 days away, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So would I. I think that midfield has to start again.
No disrespect to the next opposition, but it's Forest, and I think.
Don't say that.
They just won, didn't they?
Yeah, they just
beat
Newcastle 3-1.
But we also beat them at home, but we're playing away this time.
Playing at City Ground, new manager, it'll be tough.
It's our first game against a team that we've already played, isn't it? 90, we're halfway through.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Interesting stuff. Jack D says, Bruno brilliant tonight, ran his heart out. Seb says, our press was great today, forced Villa into a number of mistakes. And WM says, Longley and Dendonka are garbage. Like, this guy, he keeps talking about how bad Villa are. Why are they nearly top of the league then? Travel Bug TV says,
he's talking about the centre-back partnership because they only played a couple of games together.
Of course, and Pau Torres is a miss and Kamara is a miss as well, but just because you have a 1 or 2 injuries doesn't mean, you have a miss of 2 players doesn't mean you could completely collapse.
Sure, I get that argument, but we'd use that argument if we had some centre. We use that argument because we have centre-backs.
We're playing Varane and Johnny Evans. That's not our first choice pairing.
For sure. Well, according to Ricky, it might be.
We've had 8 different centre-back partnerships
9.
this year. 9 now. So Travel Bug says putting sweat on the shirt is more important than throwing your arms up and looking for a decision. United since '68. And Hamidi says, I think Villa fell into our trap. Great comeback and performance, but still want to see how we fare against team playing low blocks. Absolutely. And Jack D says, thank you for everything you guys do. Amazing channel and very consistent. Thank you for that. Lee says, I know we've had bad injuries, but Dallo at left back, I'm not sure. Reguilón plays for the badge when picked. I mean, we'll discuss that.
Absolute load of bollocks.
What was that?
Absolute load of bollocks.
Dallo doesn't play for the badge, apparently.
Absolute.
He does. He does play for the badge.
Absolute load of bollocks. I'll tell you right now.
But Wan-Bissaka played better.
He didn't say Dallo didn't play for the badge. He said Reguilón does. But
Absolute load of bollocks. Stop it. You purposely want to trigger me, you guys. I spoke to someone in Trafford Centre today for 15 minutes explaining to him why Dallo should be Manchester United player. I don't understand where this narrative comes from.
You think Dallo would have put in a better defensive performance than Wan-Bissaka today?
They both put in a fantastic good performance, but funny enough, none of the goals came from freaking Dallo's side.
None of them come from anyone's side.
I want to get into it.
Little free kicks.
I want to get into it. I don't agree with that super chat. I would much rather have Dallo left back than Reguilón personally. Easily. So, you know, but everyone
Can't win with Manchester United players. I'm freaking fuming. You can't win. 1 minute fullbacks don't cross, and then the one fullback that does cross all the time, you guys are not happy with your cross. I don't understand. Some of you have wives at home and you complain that, oh, she doesn't cook, but she cooks at least. She cooks at least. So enjoy the food that you have in your house. Man, pathetic. Absolute pathetic you lot are.
Well, Faz, everyone can have an opinion.
No, it's a pathetic opinion. Either way,
Well, you don't agree with it,
he's
and
got the
neither do
highest
I.
percentage of cutbacks. In the first 2 minutes, he put a fantastic cross into the box into Rasmus Hojlund's head.
I still don't think he should start, though.
Oh, you go. Please, miss me with it.
He shouldn't start with Wan-Bissaka, and he shouldn't start left back over Luke Shaw.
Miss me with it.
He shouldn't.
Well, I mean, Mords, that is a bit of a point because...
How come Luke Shaw doesn't play right back? How come Wan-Bissaka doesn't play left back? How come Reguilón can't play right back?
Because they're not as
How come Malacia can't play right back?
So should he start over Luke Shaw?
How come Luke Shaw can't be a man? How come Reguilón can't be a man? How come Wan-Bissaka can't be a man?
Should he start over Luke Shaw?
No. In Luke Shaw, in his preferred position, 100% he's right. But Dallo's such a complete footballer that he can play left or right, no problem.
There's no point having all these trades when you can't master one of them. If you can't start over Luke Shaw and he can't start over Wan-Bissaka, you can't start.
He can start over Wan-Bissaka. He starts over Wan-Bissaka. Your manager that you back so blindly plays Dallo every single time. He plays more minutes. He plays more minutes than anyone. He plays more. How about you ask your manager why he plays Dallo so much then?
Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion, today Wan-Bissaka had a better performance than Dallo. The tackles that every single time Villa, because Villa have a very good attack. They've got players that are very direct. The amount of times where they tried to take on Wan-Bissaka this game and none of them could get through. Not once. He did not get through Wan-Bissaka at all. Dallo would have got taken on all game and they would have put in so many more crosses and they would have probably scored more goals.
Well, tough luck. Leon Bailey didn't do anything as well. Didn't do anything.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because
Dalot's first choice right back.
Obviously, I know Mords is a massive Wan-Bissaka fan. We know
you know
it.
what, massive. I just think he's better than Dallo.
We know you are.
He's better than Dallo.
But I mean, we'll talk about the fullbacks. So you still would prefer Dallo to start over Wan-Bissaka right back, Ricky?
I think Dalot's a more complete footballer. Yeah, I think Dalot. And well, he is the man in possession of the shirt without a doubt. He's only playing at left back because the left back's injured.
Yeah, I think the good thing about Dallo is, of course, like I have my faults with him, like I've stated on here numerous times. We don't go into the whole debate about whether he can be the top level, but he is a very good squad player to have. You know, he can fit in, he can do the job. The main thing is, which is the first attribute you want is someone who works hard and plays for the badge, which he absolutely does. He wears his heart on his sleeves, passionate, he's into it. He's great, and he's good with both feet, so that's good. But he does make some poor decisions at times, but he's learning, he's still young. But today I thought he was really good. And I also thought Wan-Bissaka, like you said, was excellent. I mean, Wan-Bissaka, excellent today.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. But ask Wan-Bissaka to do 2 step-overs and beat 2 men. Go and ask him.
Is that why we scored so many goals?
No.
Exactly,
Ask him, because that's what your manager likes. Your manager likes fullbacks.
We say it every week about how they not get so much service. The players doing the most crosses.
I do think Wan-Bissaka's improving at doing the inverted role, though. He's massively improving on the ball. Do
you think Eric Ten Hag likes Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah,
I think he does.
Right, where's his contract extension?
Oh, come on,
He
right, there you go. I rest my case. Where's Dallo's contract extension?
How can I answer that question? How can I answer that question?
I mean, I think they're both decent fullbacks. We've said it so many times. They're both good. We don't have someone.
That's the reality. I mean, look, this is...
And we are not
I know we're not.
This is the reality, innit? I've said this loads of times. Like,
But because we don't have anyone.
a lot of times when
Because the manager isn't.
when I defend the player, it's not because I think they are the player that's going to take us to the Champions League. It's because I think the level that we're at, we don't have a player to take us to that level. So they're just a player that is the best for this standard that we're playing. Realistically, Dalot should not be our right back if we want to be winning the big trophies. Let's be honest. What top 4, top 6 teams taking Dalot? None of them.
Barcelona wanted him.
Someone said Wan-Bissaka has more assists this season than Dalot.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
But, you know.
And how many? Okay. And what position are
Dalot
we
is
in?
the manager's first choice, right?
And he should be, I agree.
Let me put this here. When you talk about... I've had this same conversation about a different player. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been about Luke Shaw. But when you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to climb the league and you want to become a team that's... We would like to be a team that's at least automatically in the top 4. If not challenging for the title.
Yeah.
We should be getting off. So when you're looking, like you've just said, Dalot's not top. I think he's good enough to be in a team that finishes in the top 4. The same as Luke Shaw is easily good enough to play in the team that finishes in the top 4. That'd be a stepping stone for us. That'd be a nice step in the right direction if we were confident at the start of a season that we're going to finish in the top 4. Now, ask yourselves this question. We're not, are we? Season by season, we're not confident that we're going to finish in the top 4. We're not confident now that we're going to finish in the top 4. So when you start saying this player's not quite good enough and that player's not quite good enough, I believe that most of our defenders are good enough. I think it's further forward the problems. That's where we would need to start looking to strengthen. We don't create enough chances and we don't score enough goals. That's the biggest problem.
I think you're right, Ricky. To be honest, I think you're right. And I mean, everyone can have a different opinion. I know people argue Wan-Bissaka or Dalot. A lot of people saying Dalot starts for Portugal. You know, they're both good players, and I want them to both be on form. But we've said it so many times who you'd pick as first choice. But I think they're both good, and they both suit different games differently. If you had to, I'd probably go with Dalot. But I know some people would go with Wan-Bissaka, and it's understandable because it's different strengths, isn't it? But both were very good today. Varane as well, back in the side. Slotted straight in again. Happy?
Yeah, very happy.
Very happy.
Good experienced partnership that is.
Yeah, it is.
Between the two.
And they seem to do well together, to be honest. Son Heung-min says, Faz, I'd sell Dalot, get mad and fight me.
I'm glad he's not the manager then.
Alan Kenny says, Dalot was at left back, not his position against Bailey, and he got taken off. Zaniolo was worse. Agnit, no, I don't have a crush on Bruno. If you're asking me that, no, I just think he's a good player. Michael Mezza, thank you for the super chat. And Seabain says Dalot had to play left back today to contain Bailey. He's lighter and quicker on his feet than Shaw. I mean, Shaw was injured. Caesar says, I want Wan-Bissaka over Dalot, end of. And Jack D says, I think Dalot was outstanding tonight, could be a future captain. It's mad how people have such different opinions.
Fantastic comment. Fantastic comment. Fantastic.
If I did this about Bruno, people would literally hang me out.
Well, Bruno's already the captain, but yeah.
Levi Pegler says, I do worry when we're watching games. You always see Wan-Bissaka switch off and not get close to enough players. Need a new right back eventually, I think. But thank you.
Need a new player in every position eventually.
Yeah.
Nobody plays forever.
I See Dead Bodies says, I prefer Dalot in front of Wan-Bissaka too. And Beth, please comment on the keeper, time to drop him. We'll move on to that next, actually, because I was saving that, because I wanted to be positive at first. But we will talk about Andre Onana. I mean, the first goal today has to come and collect it, has to come and claim it, and then he kind of was, for me, he just stuck to his line, which he can't be, which is unlike a keeper like him. But it just feels like every game there's something to complain about at this point. I mean, you are not confident in Onana going forward.
Well, you said, when does AFCON start?
I am, because I want to see Bayern Day. I just want to see what he's like.
Do you think he's going to go to AFCON?
Onana, yeah, he is going. Ronaldo said in the show he's going to go.
He's going, okay. Yeah. So it's Bayern Day then, yeah.
Yeah, and do you think Onana could lose his place?
No.
He didn't play him against Palace.
It depends on how we go, doesn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No?
He didn't play him against Palace in the Carabao Cup, and he played so many other fresh players. I don't think he's going to do that. Yeah, I don't think he's going to drop a £50 million goalkeeper.
I really want to see him succeed, like I really do. And when he was celebrating for Hojlund's goal, I was loving it. But there's just too many mistakes at the moment for me. personally.
But even the first goal, I think that's everyone's at fault for that.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can just say, oh, that's Onana, why don't you come and claim it? Why is the ball bouncing through the whole team?
No,
why is there no one on the back
100%.
post?
And
Like,
I was saying in the crowd today, because everyone was talking like, oh, Onana first goal, like, everyone getting onto him, and of course, like, he should have done better, he should have come and claimed it, but people think we changed the keeper and everything will change. Like, everyone always wants to go on one individual, but you know, there's so much around that team that needs to work better, but 100% Onana has to improve. Like, I think he has to claim that.
He also made some poor passes today.
The one thing I would say though is, I wasn't on the forum last week against West Ham. I think people were super harsh. I don't think he did anything wrong really in that game, to be honest. But that was just my opinion on that. I do think he's very scrutinised. I think Mark's too harsh on him, but I do think that goal today has to do better than the first one.
Yeah, he definitely has to. What I've noticed is his ability, it's almost, the word is athleticism. His ability to change his body weight, shift his body weight to try and stop a ball once he's decided to go one way. Top keepers, they're able to do that, you know, let's be honest. They'll commit to one side, but on a moment of deflection or in a moment of panic, they'll still be able to stretch somehow and get there. And what's sad is the ball is actually not far away from him. Seen the same thing against Galatasaray, where his hand is on the floor, but the ball is literally just a few inches away from him. And same today, I need to re-watch it again, but he's committed and he's jumped, and you know, by the time the ball's come and it's obviously gone in, and he's not been able to think. The thing with the goalkeeper is you have to plant your feet and be patient until you've fully decided and seen the ball, gone past everyone, and then it's the split second. He jumps, you've seen it early on in the season, he skips and jumps way earlier than he needs to.
Yeah.
Way earlier. He commits way earlier than he needs to. And that's bread and butter of a goalkeeper, is waiting. It's like when a free kick comes in, you don't dive before you see the ball go above the wall, right? You see the wall, it goes above, it's the curve, then you commit to the dive. And that's the athleticism in a goalkeeper. And I think it's just evident that he's not really got that athleticism. But that aside, he made a absolutely inexcusable pass to Dalot, and he went out to throw in. Shouldn't be doing that.
He also made a very good pass though to Garnacho.
Yeah, he did. Like, it's
He
weird.
used to be making more good than
He's so much better. He's you can tell he's so good on the ball. He's made some mistakes, of course he has, and they need to be eliminated. But he is so good on the ball. I am relaxed with him with the ball at his feet. He just needs to do it more. But that pass to Garnacho was good. But he needs to cut out the errors for sure. But like you say, nobody's perfect. But it's too poor often than
because
not.
it's the same thing we said. David De Gea's boots are glued to the line. Why is he not coming out?
He's coming out for crosses and stuff, but that cross he has to.
He has to come out. It's coming in. By the way, it's coming inwards, not outwards.
On the corners, he was coming out and claiming it, and he has been doing. But I think the player on him put him off massively, but it's not an excuse.
Absolutely not an excuse.
I mean, I know you said you don't think Ten Hag will, but to wrap up the goalkeeper conversation, would you be wanting to try Bayern Day next game? We'll just go across for yes or no.
Next game?
So
next game, Forest?
Yeah.
No, because he's still got the highest amount of clean sheets in the Premier League, no?
I don't know.
Does he? Still?
Don't think so.
Second highest? Still speaks credit for himself, so no, not just yet. He's going to, obviously, Bayern Day's going to get his chance enough during AFCON.
Interesting. I really do like, and I know I want it to work, but I'm not going to lie, I do want to see what Bayern Day's like, because
I think he'll get his opportunity when the time's right. I think that's one of the things that I always say, like, this is why United needed to stay in competitions, because we would have seen him by now.
Yeah.
We would have seen him a couple of times by now to at least see what he's like, what are his good attributes, his bad attributes and whatnot. But because we've gone out of so many competitions, I mean, we're still in the FA Cup, so maybe we might see him against
When does
Wigan.
the AFCON start? Middle of January?
January, yeah.
Well, it's tough run of games for Bayern Day then. He's got Spurs, he's got West Ham, he's got Villa as well. There's some tough games coming up for Bayern Day to play.
I think he has an opportunity to stake a claim.
Sure.
Whether he can do it, let's see.
But then Onana could go and have an amazing AFCON.
He probably will. Like, obviously that shirt weighs heavy on anyone. I just hope he can come through it. Like, I really do. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the goalkeeper conversation talked about. Thank God we won the game. That's all I can say on that one. But I mean, interesting. Van Persie was in the crowd for Hojlund's first ever Prem goal. Oh. Like, an Arsenal fan tweeted on Twitter saying he made his bed instead of coming to the Emirates to see good football. He's gone to watch them lose another whole game. swivel on it, as Mark would say. Swivel on it. I mean, Robin Van Persie in the crowd. Dave Brailsford was in the crowd. Yeah. I mean, Van der Sar was in the crowd. Obviously, the start of the new ownership regime, and I've said it so many times, no matter what your feelings are, everybody wanted a full takeover. It's not happened. I am going to get positive about the Sir Jim investment because the footballing side of things are changing, and it looks like in a good direction. I'm hopeful, because if we don't have hope, what do we have? This is what we've got now. So, I mean, this experienced Old Trafford for what it can, a great place it can be today. I mean, how hopeful are you for the changes, Faz, with them in the crowd today?
I have not much faith, because it just doesn't make sense how someone can have, 17% of one shares, 8% of the A shares, and be able to make such big decisions. We know the beast that the Glazers are. we know. So we'll have to wait and see. There's obviously talks about demolishing the stadium and maybe getting a new one. Mark is clearly against it. I'm not. But we'll have to wait and see what type of decisions they make, and maybe one of their decisions might be getting a new manager. We don't know.
Well, Ten Hag said on it after the game, "We are optimists. We've been kept informed during the whole process. It's very good, and we're looking forward to working with them. It's very positive. It's positive for Manchester United." So obviously he's going to say that, but I hope it can be.
Well, we're not going to have any money for January anyways.
And Ten Hag deserves a chance to work under it, in my opinion.
Sure, no, that's a fair comment. Yeah. But will they give him that chance is the question.
Because I hope so, because I do not want to see Graham Potter walk into that club.
Yeah. And if the new people under Sir Jim Ratcliffe want Graham Potter, that already says a lot about them.
I mean, we don't. It's a rumour, isn't it? It's a rumour. But one point I wanted to bring up before the end of the show, I saw someone talking about this. It was a major statement by Erik ten Hag to call upon a lot of the young players to hold on to that win. Obviously, he kind of had to, because of Eriksen's just come back in. Rashford picked up a bit of a knock. Garnacho looked dead on his feet at the time. He had to make them changes, but Dango, Hannibal, Willy Kambwala all came on and were trusted by Ten Hag. Is that something you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I literally by the end of the game, I was thinking, you know what, these guys, even though they put in like a 5-minute shift, they really did try. You can see that they tried the hardest. And one thing about Hannibal specifically, because Dango hasn't had obviously as many opportunities as Hannibal to play, but I remember even when we lost to Liverpool 7-0, sorry for bringing that up, but when he came back on, he was our most lively player in a game where we've completely had probably one of the worst results we've ever had. He was our most lively player at Anfield, and you can see that each time he plays, he's still hungry to try and get in the team. Even though he knows that maybe Bruno probably got his position, or there's a couple of other players in his position, you can still see that fight in him. And a lot of the young players like Kambwala, like Dango, even Garnacho, and if you're getting Garnacho and Hojlund are still. Hojlund's 20 years old. He's probably still one of our youngest players on the pitch. But the fact that our youngest players are the ones that are showing up and are actually trying the hardest, it says a lot. And I think that potentially some of the more senior players can learn a bit from them as well, just because they're showing that they're still fighting for the positions and that they're fighting for the badge.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to...
I just feel very sorry for Facundo Pellistri. I feel very bad for Facundo Pellistri. I don't know what he has to do.
Oh yeah, he didn't come on today.
Don't know what he has to do.
I was amazed he didn't come on when he was taking off when Garnacho was going off limping.
I get Donny van der Beek.
I get the fact that he decided to put an extra midfield player in, and we were leading 3-2 with minutes to play. I do get that, but it didn't cross my mind when I saw him going off. I just thought, at least we're going to see Pellistri now, but we didn't. Did we?
Do you think maybe it's because Hannibal's maybe a little bit more aggressive in the tackle? He wanted
I think it is.
Yeah, it might be.
He's probably just tactical, but I would like to see Pellistri more. I did want to bring up something that here we go. The one thing that's still concerning is 2 goals in 5 minutes tonight conceded. 2 in 6 against West Ham conceded, and 2 in 5 against Bournemouth conceded. That's just this month. So we do concede goals in quick succession. This has to stop. How does that stop? Switching on?
Good manager. Manage the team well.
You can't just decide when you're going to concede goals and when you're not. You can't you? It's just how.
So what is it to do with
these goals today?
It's not a
genuinely
had
nothing to do with the manager.
I know it's not. I know they didn't, but it's not a coincidence that we scored that many in quick succession. It is something that. Do you think it's just the mentality where the United think, oh God, we've done this before, and like it starts to creep in?
This team has always been. They've always had this thing where their heads go down. They've had it from since the start of the season. To be fair, like every time they score, we always a lot of United fans just know that, okay, it's done now. Like, the team, they're not going to run as much, they're not going to try as hard. Maybe we would get a goal back, then they'll start trying, but they've been doing this all season, so it's actually not surprising that we concede multiple goals in quick succession, because when we score, their heads go down really quick. So that is obviously the mentality thing. Yes, you can probably blame the manager, say the manager should try and get the mentality back, but they're just grown men. Like, they should be able to get the mentality, they should be able to go on the pitch as a professional footballer and have a good mentality to not give up. So yeah, I wouldn't blame the manager. It's a players thing. Players just need to, I don't know, just
You've
wake
not been
up.
blaming the manager all season for anything.
I definitely have.
Not as much as I thought
definitely
you
have.
would.
Not as much as you, but I have blamed the manager.
I think, yes, it's right that the players should have a certain level of mentality. I totally get that. But players are also there to be led.
Yeah.
They have to be led.
Yeah.
There can only be one shepherd to bring all the sheep together. And they're supposed to be taught what to do, how to do it, and how to execute it. And if the stat that Beth said, if I said the stat, people would have gone crazy. But that's no coincidence that happens. And also we concede, I've been saying it, remember, all this season, that we concede a goal straight after 7 minutes of scoring, the average. So these are all things that the manager has to set into the team. And it's a shame that some of the senior players are not in the squad, but having senior players in the team does help. This is where you'll come in to say, well, what is the Rashford and Bruno doing, really? But having Varane, Casemiro, Johnny Evans, it helps.
Yeah, no, it does.
Leo J says, can I ask the panel, would you make any changes to the next match? PS, please, can we get Villa's keeper? Any changes for the next game? No, I'd start the same team.
Look, we said that when we held off Liverpool. Me and Ricky said that let's start the same team. Let's start McTominay, Amrabat and Mainoo in midfield. Rashford's had a good game, but I'll be deadly honest, it's going to be a big one, but I would like to see Martial as well, if he's available.
We ain't going to see Martial, are we? I think we just
Don't start that off again.
Yeah, we ain't going to see Martial. He's probably going to go on loan somewhere in January. And I believe the manager's bombed him out. Beth believes that he doesn't want to play.
What's going to be interesting to see,
what's
going to be interesting if he puts Bissaka against Elanga or Dalot against Elanga.
Well, Elanga played on the right today, because don't forget, they've just got a new manager. I watched that game today. Elanga was fantastic, by the way. But he's been playing on the left, mainly, under the other manager. He's playing on, I don't know about the first game, because it's his second game, wasn't it, the manager today. He played on the right today, Elanga. So if he plays on the right, it'll be double-handy if Luke Shaw's fit.
Interesting stuff. I mean, Roop Lathan says, what do you think about Frimpong from Leverkusen? I think he's a good player, but we don't play back five. And Benj says, Faz and Ricky are the only ones with standards here. The rest of you forgot who you're meant to be supporting.
Frimpong is another player, right? He's going to come in and people are going to start criticising him for X, Y and Z. People think one player changes everything. Just coach the team better first. And then once the team is performing at a set level and you need that extra one or two players to take them to the next level, then you can get them in. It's a very simple thing. The Dorking manager said this, right? And he manages a National League side. He said, we have our core players and we don't just be going shopping for new players every season. We'll change one or two players, but we'll keep a level of football. And those one or two players will come in and just elevate us a little bit more every season. Manchester United fans, we think like, oh, we just need Frankie de Jong and we're going to turn into title challenging, whatever, or we get Harry Kane or whatever. It doesn't work like that. Coach what you have better first, and he did that today. He coached a good 45 minutes, got 3 goals out of the players, so he can clearly do it. That's my number one criticism, is you can clearly do it, but why do you not do it enough?
Interesting. I understand your point of view. Michael says, ha ha ha, Martial. And lastly, a lot of people saying, I'm adding training, where is he? Hopefully he'll be in the squad soon. And Tiemann says, Onana will get all the criticism, but that's a great save on Bailey. Then it's 2-1, credit where it's due. Yeah, it was a good save, But anyway, guys, it's that time. Man of the match.
Ooh.
Who were you giving your man of the match to, Ricky?
Johnny Evans.
Shock! I did not see that come in. Mordzs?
Probably Garnacho. I was going to say either Garnacho or Bruno. I thought Bruno had a top game today, but he scored 2 goals, so I got to give it to Garnacho.
Faz?
Very easy to give it to a player that scores 2 goals. He edges it because of the type of goals it is. Is it one goal with right foot, one with left foot?
Yeah.
So, top class player. But huge credit to Diogo Dalot. Again, playing out of possession.
Favourites.
Position. No. It's playing out of... Okay, you like Bruno Fernandes, right?
He's all right, yeah.
Me and Mords are on the same page.
Right. Well, how come he doesn't play well on the right when he gets put on the right?
He's a midfielder.
He's a midfielder.
Oh, right, okay. But
You're not asking a left winger.
We
to
don't
play on
judge
the right.
footballers based on how many positions they can play.
Right, okay.
Judge them based on how good
That's
they
a fair
are.
point, still.
Okay. But funny enough, Scott McTominay can play second striker and play a DM.
He can't play second striker.
Well, he scored goals in the second striker, hasn't he?
He's never played second striker in his whole career.
He's literally playing second striker for Manchester United.
Yeah, but
and
that's like putting Johnny Evans up top for one game and he scores and saying he can play
Your manager
striker.
did that with Harry Maguire. Didn't work, but...
Yeah, Harry Maguire got an assist. I said to McTominay, is he a good left winger now?
But Scott McTominay played further up on the pitch, almost like a second striker, and scored goals for Manchester United.
Yeah, he did that last game as well, we lost.
But he's still top scorer, no?
Top goal scorer for United, a team's not scoring. That's a great achievement.
But it's one of them. You go one step, I'll go one step. But I just wanted to say, credit to Diego Dallo, of course, but I'll give it to Garnacho.
Okay, so we got that in the end. I was like you, Mords, Bruno or Garnacho, but I'm going to give it to Garnacho. Two great finishes. Probably could have had a hat-trick, but it was like this close. But yeah, good to win a game, and I did not expect to win it, guys.
Sorry, Beth. PGMOL, get your freaking act together. Get your goddamn act together. You loop. I want to go in on these guys. How many times opposition players are yapping off the referee? They don't do fuck all. And that's not fair because you gave Diego Dallo a red card. Your referee gave Diego Dallo a red card. Who should be demoted? You know what? He shouldn't even be demoted to National League because we don't want to mess up National League and the credibility of the National League. Get your act together. Right? They're doing it in other games as well, not just Manchester United games. It's unfair and it's diabolical. You ruined the game for nobody else but fans like us.
Yep.
Well said, I would say, actually.
Yeah. Someone clip it up and send it to the execs of PGMOL.
Mark says Ericsson, and Danish Sharma says it's 5 AM in India, but we don't care, it's Rasmus Day. Well, thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. Not only has Hojlund got his goal, but Man United have beat Aston Villa 3-2. We love it. Hopefully, we can build on it from here. Also, we're above Newcastle in the table, which is small wins. Small wins. Shouldn't be buzzing about that, but for some reason I am. Anyway, Ricky, thank you. Mords, thank you. Faz, thank you. I'm sure we will see you at some point this week. Mark will definitely be here. I'm sure we'll see you, but have an amazing new year, everyone. I mean, actually, no, we've got Forest before that. Never mind. I'll tell you then. But thank you, everyone. Hopefully, you've had a good Boxing Day. Continue the celebrations, and we'll see you on the next one.